I was jamming.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh my God. I want to welcome you to my series of Be Inspired. Um, in this series, we try to bring on a lot of people who I consider as inspiring based on your story and your journey thus far. So we're gonna just jump right into it, and then whoever catches this at the end, you can always rewatch. It will be on my YouTube channel for you guys. So welcome, Janetta.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is fun. I've never
Absolutely.
actually done one like this before.
No?
No. So this is good. This is cool.
Awesome. So I want you to tell our viewers a little bit about Janetta. Janetta before Thrive even came into your life. Who was Janetta?
Mm. That's a really good question. And it's so crazy for me to think now that at that time in my life right before I found Thrive, or I really didn't know. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had become just not even recognizable anymore. Not just physically, because what's so crazy is I do look so different. Because, and we'll talk about that later on, but I feel like what's going on inside of you always comes and shows on the outside, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was not recognizable anymore. I was not my happy-go-lucky self. I was not my like motivated, energetic, positive self anymore. I think I had just fallen into this like rut in life, just like this stuck place. And I had my three boys at the time. My littlest one was about 8 months old, and I was nursing him full time. And he was my third baby that I was nursing, that I had nursed for like 2 years. But he was still like 8 months old, and I was just so like, life was so mundane, and it was so bleak, and it was so like you just kind of didn't want to wake up and do the same thing over again. And not only that, like just, I mean, if you're doing the same thing over again, you feel great about it. And like life is good.
Yeah.
That's okay. But like, it was just not a good existence. I remember times looking or trying to look 5 years down the road. And I didn't want to, because it was scary. I didn't like what my life, my future even looked like. I still saw myself tired, getting old, and not happy in life. I saw that, like, and I just kind of like wanted to shut that out every single time. So I wasn't really doing very good physically, emotionally, mentally. I was checked out, and I thank God, for those boys, because I'm telling you, I probably would have been one of those people that just didn't want to be here anymore, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's where I was. And that's so not me. Like, you have to understand, like, that is so not me. And I was there. I was just like, oh, this is just so hard. This is just so sad. This is just so not what I pictured my life. So that's where I was. Yeah.
How did you get introduced to Thrive?
Okay, so I was at this like kids play place with my kids, like one of those bounce house type things, and I ran into this lady, and I was always, remember I told, like, I was always like this cheerful, friendly person. Like, I would talk to anybody, and I struck up conversation with this lady, and she was really nice, and she we just kind of exchanged phone numbers and Facebook pages, and we just kept in touch. And soon after that, her husband reached out to me on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, like, no. And he was just talking to me about Thrive, and had I heard of Thrive, and I'm like, is he crazy? Like, I am not interested in these vitamins. And I had tried other things before. And he was pitching this business to me. And I'm like, I am not selling vitamins. Is he crazy? I'm not doing that. Okay. Like I will do other things. I am not doing that. I promise you. And so he reached out to me for a long time, like probably about 6 months or so. He just kept on following up with me. And I didn't want to be rude or anything. So I just would say like I was busy and, never answer or return his messages. He would invite me to different things to listen to and come to. And I'm like, my kids are sick again. Like, like I always had an excuse. And one day, I had probably, well, to date, like the worst day of my life. Like I just had some really bad news. I was like doubled over on the floor, just crying. And he didn't know that, of course, but I remember just praying that night, like, rock bottom. Well, like I've been to rock bottom. And I remember praying that night that I felt like I had hit rock bottom. And I was like, I just need something, anything. And God, like I hear you talking to people, like you don't ever give me answers. Like you never talk to me. And no joke, like I remember hearing this voice as clear as day that said, just listen. That's what I heard. Like I literally thought I remember getting up from the floor, like crying, sobbing, like cry your lashes off type of cry.
Oh my
And
God.
I went into the shower and I heard just listen. And I was like, okay. And the next morning I got a phone call and it was him on the other line. And he was saying, listen, I'm in your area. Can I drop off some product? And that was the first time that I even thought about a product. Like I never really thought about a product. I just kept hearing about a business.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I said, okay, fine, like whatever.
Whatever.
And yeah, it was really like that. I said, I will try your stupid product. That's what I said. And then I said, get ready for this. Like I said, if you ask me about promoting, I will block you. I will block you. I'll block your wife. I will never talk to you again. Don't ever tell me about it. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. So he brings over the Thrive, and I started to get excited in some strange reason. Like, I was so excited to try it, and the product came, and I started the next day. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to take it exactly right because I want to make sure that I do it right because I need to tell him he's wrong. Like I need to tell him it doesn't work and I want to be like so strong about it and right about it. So I'm going to make sure I do it properly. And it didn't work. And that's what I was going to tell him. And day one, like I was Wonder Woman that day.
Oh yeah.
Telling you, like I went from being like sleepy, needing coffee all the time, just feeling like meh, like forcing that smile, trying to make it to feeling like, girl, let's go.
Mhm.
And I just knew at that point, like I had found something really, really special.
Mhm.
And I wanted to tell everybody, which is so crazy. Like I was a person who said, don't ask me about promoting. And immediately I wanted to tell everyone because so dang good. I was ready. And I also didn't have any money. I knew the product wasn't expensive, meaning like if you like for what it did for me,
Mhm.
the value of the product actually to me was very inexpensive for what it
But
did.
compared to the other plans that are out there, it is very affordable.
Yeah. But if you have like no money, like literally, girl, like I didn't even have. I always tell people I had nothing. I did not have 2 dimes to rub together. I had already scraped up all the pennies from the car. You know how like you do, I don't know if you've ever been there, but girl, I have, where you're like, if I could just find $2 in this car for
absolutely.
some gas, no joke, that was me. And I had already done that. So I don't think I had left a penny behind. There was no money. I did not have a bank account, nothing when I started Thrive. No bank account, no nothing. And I called up a friend and I was like, oh my gosh, you got to try this product. And she came over, she tried it right there at my kitchen table because I had a couple days. And she said, Jen, you need to do this. You have to do this. And I said, okay, but I don't have any money. And so that weekend we sold some things. We hustled, girl, for that money. And I was able to come up with some money to buy some Thrive. And before that product even got to my house, I had already hit the bonuses. And mind you, like, I didn't even have a lot of friends. Like, I didn't really know people. Like, nobody really liked me anymore, you know? Like, but girl, the bridges that I burned, like, oh, they lit the way. But you know, I didn't have any friends, and I just knew a couple of people, you know, and those few people knew people. And it's so beautiful how that works, you know, and everybody knows somebody that's struggling with something, and thank goodness for that, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, I did hit those bonuses, and then we just kept going from there. I did hit my car bonus in my first 21 days. Being in Lavelle, girl, that wasn't so awesome because I didn't even know what I was doing. But that's the beauty of it. Like, I had no idea. Like, I couldn't even tell you like what Thrive was. I still don't know what's in Thrive. Like, I have no clue what's in Thrive. What's that?
I don't think nobody knows.
I don't know what's in it, but the ingredients are there. The ingredients are there and everything, and we could, like, I wasn't focused on that. I figured if I could eat McDonald's at any point in my life, then like I certainly vitamins aren't gonna kill me, you know? Like, so I really didn't focus on that. I just focused on how good I was feeling. I focused on the fact that so many people were using the product and feeling better. Like, you know, I mean, how much proof did I need, right? So I just started telling people, and we kept it super simple, right? Like, we didn't become, you know, scientists and chemists overnight. Like, we really didn't do that. We just were excited about something. You know, when you find like the newest phone, you find like the newest sales, you find like the newest hairstyle, you know, and we told people, you know, how to do this. But, you know, I always tell people, like, you know, they see your life now and they think, oh my gosh, like, you know, lucky her, right? And I was going, no, like, I had to make a decision when I made that $400 because we sold enough where I got, you know, about $400. I remember saying to myself, I need to get like $426. For some reason, I knew I needed that much because, like, I wanted to cover shipping and all that, right? And so I had to get a prepaid card. I had to go get a prepaid Visa card so that I could buy my package.
Oh my goodness.
Like, because I had no bank account, right? So I had to go get that. Yeah. And I remember like looking around like, oh, where can I find one that's going to be like, because I don't know if like, you know, they had the big ones everywhere before, but like I felt like, you know, I was on a mission to find a Visa card that would, you know, hold enough. So like, you know, I get like a $25 one, in other words. So, and then, you know, it's that decision like, okay, am I gonna buy some weaves or am I gonna buy this package? Because like, girl, I was looking rough. Like, I was a little rough, you know, like I could get my nails done. Oh my gosh, $400. I could probably get my hair done. I could buy me a nice wig. Right? Or I could get this Thrive, you know? My gosh, thank God I buy no weave, girl. I can buy all the weave I want now. But then but yeah, that's how I got started. That's how I started.
It's amazing because like, you know, somebody actually like, you know, saw you and actually like approached you and stuff like that. My story is a little bit different because I actually saw Yessie on Instagram, and you know what I saw? I saw our DTF. So I saw that DTF. I'm like,
girl, no, it's not a DTF.
What do you mean?
You know what DTF stands for?
Sorry, DF. Sorry. I just caught myself.
This was like going into a whole different type of video.
I just caught myself.
Like, oh, she's DTF.
DFT. Sorry. It's a good thing I was pointing too. I saw her with this. And I was like, what is that? That looks so cool. Like, I want to wear that. So I reached out to her. And, you know, she sent me the thing and I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, what the heck? Let me try. Because I'm always used to trying these different stuff because like my friends always ask me about products and stuff. So I'm like, what the heck? Let me try it. And I tried it and she was like, oh, when I tried it, it improved my energy. And she gave me the whole spiel, right? And I was like, whatever. Okay, let me just see what happens. So, like for you, the first day I put it on, I'm walking into work and I'm smiling and I'm like happy and singing Christmas carol. I'm like, what is this? This is not normal. She messaged me today and I was like, yeah, it made me feel good. I'm not sure if it's it. Maybe it's my mind. So let's see what happens. And the next day I was feeling the same thing. Fast forward to day 10, I'm still in a good mood, still loving life. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I looked on there and I saw that, oh, you could become a promoter. So I'm like, oh, what is this? And she told me about it. I'm like, you know what? This is so great. I'm going to try it. And, I tried it and, I hit my bonuses in the first 14 days, I won myself a little trip to Cabo. So,
that's exciting.
So hopefully you're going to be in Cabo because, oh my God, I'm so excited about this trip to Cabo. But yeah, so Thrive for me since December I joined has been amazing. I mean, it's a game changer. I always tell people it's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, you had to make a choice. Like I made a decision to start it and I'm not going to stop. But what I want to ask you is because when you make that decision to start, it's not like you popped off overnight. You know what I mean? Because after you hit those bonuses, I'm pretty sure there was a period when you were like, yo, what's happening? What's going on? You know what I mean? So when you got to that period, after you get the bonuses, after the initial glow, starts to fade, like, how do you propel yourself to that next level? How do you what did you use to keep you going at that point?
Yeah. Well, that's simple. For me, it was always about why I was doing it. It wasn't about like, okay, so we know obstacles are going to come. We know you're going to have setbacks. We know, like anything in life, there's going to be ups and downs, right? We know that there are going to be people who are going to come on board and then stop. We know that there are going to be people with issues, whatever they might be with the product. I mean, for goodness sake, some people are allergic to the sun. Some people are allergic to water. So of course, like we know those things are going to come up, right? We know you're going to have days where you're not going to feel like it. We know we're going to have people who are super difficult, but for me, the only thing that was relevant was why I was doing it. And so I had this passion for changing my life for my children. I had this at the point where I started Thrive, I was becoming a single mom. And that's the stuff I was telling you, like I had all of these things going on. Life was happening. I was dealing with some very personal things. So becoming a single mom was dealing with legal stuff. Like a lot was happening, and so I was at the place where it was like, I made this my plan A all the way through Z because I was so scared of having to leave my children somewhere else, like somebody else take care of them. All I knew was being home. I had a life before I had children, of course. I was a teacher. I had my career, but, when I became a mom, I was at home and I was a stay-home mom for about 10 years. Imagine going from being a stay-home mom to suddenly, for 10 years, right? Like, it just suddenly, you got to just drop your kids off somewhere. Like that for me was like the scariest thing. Right. So I always had a strong why. I wanted my kids to see that, yeah, their mom could now be a single mom, but be able to take care of them, not having to choose whether or not I was going to be with them or make enough money just to pay the light bill. And let me be honest with you. I mean, having 3 kids and like when I looked at what the costs would be, like it didn't make sense for me to go get a job. I could get a job, but what job was going to pay me enough to make it worth it? And I remember, this was the question that I remember asking myself was, what number would they have to tell me as far as salary that would make me say, okay, that's worth leaving my sons?
Mm.
What would be the number? And I remember I could see myself, like right now, I remember clear as day where I was, and I had that thought, okay, because I had just done like an interview, and I'm like, what number would they have to come back with for me to say, okay, I'm gonna leave my boys and not see them for the whole day. And, maybe I'll see them on the weekends, right? And spend time with them there. But, a couple, maybe 1 or 2 hours during the week. And then I would have to maybe wait till vacation time to spend, good quality time with them.
True.
And what was the number? And I couldn't think of a number. And that was when I knew, like, wait a minute, like, time is way more important than money, right? And I just thought, well, if I could make enough money to get by, but have all the time in the world with my boys, like, I'd rather that. I'm gonna pick the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like Lavelle, that was there in my, oh, Janetta, you can do this. You can do this. This is what you're looking for, because it's going to give you that time freedom, because you can work around their schedule. You can work around the kids. You can work around nap time. You can work around bath time, dinner time, but you're going to be there. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what it always was. So when you talk about, it wasn't smooth sailing the whole time, but I was so passionate about why. Mm-hmm. That, you know what? I did go 80K in 4 months because I was passionate about why. Like, I was literally running, not for a rank, girl. I was not running for 80K rank. I was running to save my life. I was running to change my life. And so, like, when you think about, okay, all these things that could happen, did happen, all the obstacles we talk about, people saying no, the ups and downs, the times you want to put, none of that was relevant. It was why. Your why will keep you going. Mm-hmm. When you are so convicted in why you're doing it. You have to know why, right? That's my thing all the time. Like, okay, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want this? Why do you? Because that why is going to be what drives a person every single time. You don't get in your car and not know where you're going. You always know why you're in your car, right?
Yep.
You want to get from point A to point B, but you're not going to get in your car, get from point A to point B that you're intended to go, but not know why you're sitting in your car. I'm getting in my car because I'm going to the grocery store.
Absolutely.
Right? So, it was always about why for me.
Absolutely. I find myself as sitting in kind of somewhat the same position, as in choosing whether I want time over a salary. You know what I mean? Like, time with my kids, because they're getting older. And we all know when they grow up, they just go about their business. And, as much as it seems like, they're in the house for 18 years or, even that's such a short time.
Yes.
And, these moments now when they're younger, like, you don't want to miss out.
Cry.
I know. I'm trying not to. I'm
like, my son is going to be 17 next month. And I'm like,
oh, he's growing.
No, let's not talk about it.
But it's true, like, as moms, and we think about, like, our kids, like, and having to choose whether or not, we go to work and earn a living, and, spending time with them. Time is so precious. And that's what I love about Lavelle. Right now, I'm still working because I just started, right? And it's going to take time, but at least I have hope that eventually I'm going to be like, deuces, I won't be over here. So there is that hope that Lavelle provides you with. And that's what I'm appreciative for, because, the future is bright. It is what you make it, because it's your business, essentially. So whatever you put in, that's what you're going to get out. So that's what I love about it. And I guess my next question is, because, you get a lot of rejection with this type of thing. I mean, you did your own form of rejection when you were approached with this. So how do you handle objections when you're faced with them now?
Rejections or objections?
Both.
So rejections, I handle it simple. Like, I mean, people have they have the right to have a choice, right? They have the right to say no, and most times it has nothing to do with you. They can decide that they like Levi's over Lucky Brand jeans, and they can Lucky Brand ain't crying about them choosing Levi's. They just keep doing their thing, right? They just keep getting better. They just know that there's other customers out there that are going to prefer Lucky Brand over Levi's, and they're not sweating it. So when people are not ready and they say no, I just don't really take it personal, because they have a right to choose. But with so many people in the world, I always think there's no shortage of people, right? And somebody is going to, decide to take a closer look at it. And that's really what I'm focused on. Objections, I mean, everybody has them, right? Like, I had them. But it's about people seeing their own need. Like, at this point, when I say at this point, I mean a certain age. Like, I'm 40 years old, right? And I'm talking to people who are around my age, maybe a little bit younger. But at my age, I mean, if you don't know that you need vitamins, then, like, I'm really not trying to convince you of that. Like, I let my lifestyle and what the product has done for me speak for itself, right? So if you're looking at that and you're looking at all the other stories that I share, and you still don't feel like you need to at least take a closer look, like, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for people to have objections. It's okay for them to question. It's okay for them to feel skeptical. I always say you're either skeptical or gullible, and I would rather you be skeptical. But then good skeptics do their research. So unless you have done your research, you check things out, and you've made an informed decision, then, I mean, there really is no conversation. Like, if you're making a decision based on something that you don't even know, well, like, how ignorant is that, right? So that's not even a conversation that I have with people who haven't even made an informed decision, right? But once people have, like, looked into something a bit more, honestly, it's either they're ready or they're not, right? And somebody saying no, or it's not for me, it doesn't mean that it won't be sometime down the road. So I kind of just let go of attaching myself to what people do, because it's ultimately their decision, right? Like, and I don't hang on to that, because whether they're thriving or they're not, I'm still thriving. That's number one. Like, I'm already thriving, so I'm always like, I'm already thriving. Like, I'm good, So they're thriving right now. It's for you, not for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also not going to convince people that this company is amazing. I mean, like, have you seen? Like, if you're not living under a rock, like, you've got to know that, like, this company has broken records on how fast we grew. It not just in this industry here in the US, in the world. Like, who's gone from 0 to $2 billion as fast as we have in this industry? Not another company. Any type of attention, if you've done any type of research, if you've looked at the numbers, I mean, we always say documentation beats conversation every time. There's really nothing to talk about, right? So objections will come. And I don't try to convince people, but I share what my story is, where the company is, and whatever questions they have. And after that, it really just is up to them. But I don't attach myself to what people do. I don't get emotional about this. I'm not the one to be emotional. They should be emotional. Right?
Absolutely.
They're going to be whenever you make a purchase, or whatever you're making an emotional decision, right? Not me. The consumer is always making an emotional decision. So I don't have emotions. when it comes to whether somebody wants to thrive or not. I don't feel when it comes to that. If they want to thrive, great. If they don't want to thrive, great.
Great.
I don't feel any different.
Absolutely. I agree with you, because when you look at the company's track record, even what they just rolled out in terms of compensation, like, who else is doing that? Like, that was mind blowing.
Right. It's just ridiculous.
It was mind blowing. I'm just
Yeah.
like, Yesenia got me in a call and we were talking about it, and I was silent because I was speechless. I'm like, it's
Who's
go
doing
time,
that?
right? Go time. It's literally go time. To get this done. So, like, I'm appreciative for Lavelle actually coming into my life, and showing me a different way to live, essentially, because that's what it is. It's opening
Yeah.
up a different avenue for you to live and feel good. Because
Yeah.
oh my God, it lifts your spirit so much. Like, I can't say enough about it. You get up in the morning, you do your 3 steps, and no matter what comes throughout that day, you got a smile on your face, because inside you feel good. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what comes, you feel great.
Mm-hmm.
I had Rodney on here before, and we were kind of talking a little bit about, like, the different books that he reads and stuff like that. Are you a reader? Do you read
Yes,
motivational stuff?
I do. I mostly listen now, because with children it's sometimes hard, and yeah, and then in the middle of the bell I did have another baby, so that made it a little bit difficult, right? So it's easier to thank you. So it's much easier to listen now than it is to sit and have some pleasure reading. But my goodness, so I do a lot of spiritual work, um, because I do believe that everything starts, within.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just aligning myself to who I am at my core, right? And that helps me a whole ton. But then outside of that, I do a lot of development, like in business, because the thing is that most of us don't get started with any type of business degrees or anything like that, right? And so, yeah, you've got to kind of learn, how to do something like that. So I do have my books here that are close. I have these. Oh, you can reach. Yeah, I do have some of my favorites. I love How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
I have that I've read a couple of times.
Ooh.
And this will really teach you how to just not make it about you, and make it about others. But then Think and Grow Rich. Okay. So I have that, and Outwitting the Devil. These are my favorite books. Yeah. So I keep them close. And any time I feel like, maybe my mindset kind of isn't, where it needs to be. That doesn't happen as often now, just because, you kind of build a strong enough foundation in your life and in your mind that you don't have those moments as often where you go into like what we call the stinking thinking. We don't have that as often, right? But we definitely sometimes will get in a rut, and it really just is about recentering yourself. I call it, what are those things that when you're not feeling good, right? Not just physically, but like mentally, emotionally. Who are those people that you call? Who are those? What are those books that you read? Who are the people that you listen to? What do you plug into? What's in your first aid kit, right? And these are some of the things that are in my first aid kit. And, 1 or 2 people that I know that if I'm not feeling my best, if I'm not 100%, I go to that first aid kit and I can just call on, a couple of people. So I recommend that. That's important, especially when you're just starting out something like this. Get a first aid kit.
I love that. The first aid kit, I really love that.
Yeah, because you're going to get bruised, you're going to get cut, you're going to feel hurt, and you need to get into that first aid kit, and you have to know what's in your first aid kit. You can't figure it out then, because you might call on the wrong person who's going to cause you to bleed a little bit more because they're going to say the wrong thing, and they're not going to help. You want to call those people that can help heal you, help make you feel better, right? It could just be
Absolutely.
a word or a line or something that they say that can help you. Maybe it's your Bible, maybe it's your pastor, whatever it is. Have people ready in that first aid kit. Have things ready, books ready, like not physically your first aid kit, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No, I get, since I started Lavelle, I've retrained my way of thinking, and honestly, I've been more spiritual, if you will. Like it's more of an internal work that I've been doing, and I've noticed like Lavelle is not only helping me feel physically better, but it's helping me to become
More
spiritually,
aware.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit more spiritual intelligent and emotionally intelligent as
Yeah.
well, as it comes onto the process. And I'm not a reader, but since I started Lavelle, like I already know that I gotta read these books because I need them in my life.
Yeah.
So I've been taking notes, and getting the audio books and listening to it. One of the things that Rodney also mentioned is that when he's sleeping, he plays audiobooks because the subconscious is awake. So he's trying to feed
Absolutely.
that subconscious mind, which I think is amazing. Like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that. So I tried it out. And
It's so good.
oh my God, Yesenia sent me something and I tried it out.
Which one are you listening to?
Oh my God. I forgot the name of it because I
Girl
can't.
Nightingale?
I don't remember. She sent it to me, and I was listening to it, and it was the first time trying it, and it was the most peaceful sleep in life. Like I
Yeah.
literally, I'm listening to it, and it's just like, and I wake up so refreshed and so energized, to like, I don't know what I was hearing in my sleep, but let me tell you, the next day I was like, okay, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
Those things are things that I'm trying to practice now. I've I've dipped and dabbled in yoga, but I've always been a person to fall asleep in yoga class, like always. And when they get to the part where at the end where they say namaste, I'm the one that's giggling at that point. But right now, I'm kind of seeing the importance of it, being in tune with yourself and, having that moment with yourself and kind of like being at peace and, stuff like that. So Lavelle has really opened up like so many other important parts in my life, like, and I'm excited about it because, it makes me seem a little bit more like,
Yeah, for sure. Universal Mind Meditation is one that I am married to.
yeah.
I love that one for bedtime, and you put that on, and it is some good deep sound sleep, but you wake up better because your brain waves are still going, at night. That's what I always suggest, that people don't fall asleep with the TV on,
Yeah.
um, because you don't know what's coming on the TV. Like it could be just all kinds of bad news and all that, and you just wake up in a bad mood, and you don't even know why.
Like I used to watch, okay, so I don't have a TV in my bedroom, but then I have my laptop. So of course I'm watching stuff on my laptop and I would watch Power. And I would have the worst nightmares, and like I would be like I'm in the movie and I'm doing all this stuff, and I wake up in the morning and I'm exhausted. I'm just like,
Yeah, you don't
no,
even know why.
exactly. But yeah, no, this is
What does
amazing.
your shirt say?
Oh, yeah.
Ah!
you know.
That's hilarious.
Hey, funny thing about this shirt, I think we were coming from Thailand, me and my husband, and I had this shirt on, and this couple was sitting in front of us, and she was dying of laughter after reading my shirt.
I need one of those.
Oh my God. It breaks the ice, hey?
I love it. I definitely need one of those.
Right?
That's telling me where.
Oh, for sure. We'll definitely keep in contact. Oh my God. It's been amazing having this conversation with you. Because this journey is not easy. There's a lot of rewards in the end, but like going through your own journey and respecting your own process, because my process is going to be the same as yours.
Right.
It's going to be different. It might take me a longer time to get to where you are, but that's just my journey. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's always important to respect your journey and never try to mirror somebody else's journey, and stay the course because it's gonna happen. You just gotta like stick with it and do what you need to do, and listen to your coaches. It's very important because they know what they're doing, right? So
Yeah.
listen to them. But I want to
Mhm.
thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. You just said yes without asking any other questions, and I absolutely appreciative of that. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. We've had I'm just gonna put up here Instagram real quick and stuff. You can follow Janetta on Instagram and on Facebook as well. She's just an amazing person, and her posts are sometimes so hilarious. Um,
Thank
and
you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you were inspired by Janet's story and inspired enough to start your own journey, whether it be with Lavelle or whatever it is that you're doing in life.
Yeah.
Certainly applies to everything that you do. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and again, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Janette. Thank you so much.